Hello everyone, and it's an honor and privilege to have with me Dr. Rihan Rashid, who has just secured rank 2 in NEET SS Surgical Group 2025. So, welcome, Dr. Rihan, and congratulations. And it's a great privilege for me to be talking to you. And thank you for joining and taking out time for this.
Thank you for having me, sir. Alhamdulillah, it's a big privilege to be doing this with you. I've actually just visualized this moment before, like during my preparation time, I was just imagining sitting and having this conversation with you. So it's like I feel blessed to actually be in this position right now.
No, I think that proves the power of manifestation, as what you just said, that if you want to see yourself doing something, and I think the fate also brings you to that moment, and it's a great achievement. So just tell us about how you are feeling right now. What is the feeling right now, and how is it right now?
Yes, sir. It's like I feel like I'm still in a dream, and anytime someone's going to wake me up and tell, it's to wake me up to reality. So I'm just, yeah, getting. It's not sunken yet completely.
Yeah, right. I think it will take a few days to sink in, and then you will come back to the reality. But it's a great feeling to have. So, Dr. Jan, just tell us about your journey. How is it been right now, and how and when did you start for NEET SS? And just tell us about your background and the journey till now.
Yes, sir. My name is Rihan Rashid, and my journey started as a MBBS graduate from private medical college in Mangalore. And then after that, I pursued my MS General Surgery from Grand Medical College and Surge Age Group of Hospitals. And then after that, I had done 1 year of bond. So during my bond period, I just wanted to actually just work and get more experience at that time. And I wasn't really keen on preparing for a super specialty at that point. So around I think late December or January I had decided, okay, I'm going to pursue it, and then I gave my first attempt in March, and I was not able to get a good rank at that time. So then I realized after the result came out that okay, I need to put some dedicated time for this. If I want to get a top rank in and get into a top institute, I need to take some time out and then prepare for it. So around June July, I made up my mind to that I'm going to get at least a top 10 rank to pursue my dream colleges. So then I gave around 5 to 6 months of dedicated preparation for this.
Right. I think that's a great thing that you decided that you want to be in the top 10, and you are right now, and you work hard for that. So tell us about your preparation journey. How has it been? When did you start? What did you do? Just tell us about this. So the basic idea is that whatever you tell, it will be listened by so many future aspirants, and I'm sure that they would definitely be inspired and take a note from you.
Yes, sir. So basically, like during my third year and during SRship, I used to read, but it was just to form like a base for this thing. I didn't read to for the like exam point of view. I was just to gain knowledge. I was like forming a base at that point. So I read Sabiston and Bailey of relevant topics based on cases I see in the ward, and then I developed a foundation during that time. So then it was actually during this time that I made some like I would say game changer strategies to help you know to improve my preparation. So one thing I did was that one of your I think videos I saw where you mentioned that you have to do like a staggered type of preparation. So what I would do is I would read and form a base in theory, and then I would do MCQs. Like I wouldn't do it at the same time. I would do it after a week or something, and then after that I would do like mini tests or something after that after a week more. So it's like that subject is not it doesn't go away from the head. It's like a form of revision, but it's like repetitive. So that I feel like that is a game changer. And then the usual I did decathlon tests. Like I did a test almost every week, and sometimes twice a week also. So that that gave me an idea about how to approach MCQs in the test format, like pacing myself and also being able to rule out options. That I feel like that really helped.
Right. So, Dr. Rian, I think that's a very important thing. I think all the top rankers whom I have talked till now, be it first or be it fourth. So what all of them have used is the space recall, what I have been telling you all since last 2 years, and that is a great thing. And if utilized properly, like you all have done it, it is a great thing to be incorporated in your preparation. So coming to the next thing, what I want to know is about what was your base reading like? Which textbooks did you do? What would you tell the aspirants about the importance of Bailey? And did you read Sabiston Schwartz? What is your take on that things?
Yes, sir. My base material was Tabiston and Bailey. So Bailey, I read from cover to cover. I read all the chapters. I mean, no, I didn't read ortho and those ENT chapters, but almost everything else I had covered line by line. Then Sabiston also, sir, I read all the important chapters, and other than few things like urology, which I think was given better in Bailey, so I focused on. Uh, Mostly it was done other than urology. I think all the chapters I covered from Sabiston also. So, but I've not touched short, sir. I just did the MCQs and added to my base material.
Right. So I think even what you have said, I think it proves that the textbook reading forms the base no matter whatever you are doing next. So that's a very valid point, and I think all students should note this, because why I emphasis on all these things is because sometimes students just focus on the MCQs and they do reverse reading, that they just go through the explanation and they think that they've covered the textbook. But textbook reading is the base, and that should be very important. So coming to the next thing, what I want to know from you is about how well did you practice the MCQs? What was your strategy like, and what would be your advice to the future aspirants?
Yes, sir. So, uh, like I said, that I was doing that spaced like
Yeah,
repetition type
yeah.
preparation. So then, what I did was I made a mental goal that every day I would do at least 50 to 100 MCQs. So in the morning, I thought the best time to do it would be like when I wake up in the morning. I would do at least 50 to maybe how much ever I could. I would do it before before I started reading. So then, yeah, then I would do around 100 MCQs, and that's I think that helped because at the end I had done solved around 8,000 to 10,000 MCQs. So that was that helped.
Right. Right. So, what was the strategy like? Did you do like practice in the MCQs, or did you do in the test mode? And how did you analyze them? And how did you change your preparation day by day as and when you start while doing the MCQ practice?
So when I was doing the Q bank, I did it in practice mode, but then I would do mini tests that would be in the test format, and then sometimes I would do the decathlon tests. If I don't get time to do a whole the test completely, I would just break it apart into 3 sessions and then do it because I
Right.
would not get time to do all the tests sometimes. So
Okay.
but I made it a goal to that I have to do all 16 decathlon tests. So because it was really helpful. So then yeah, thank you sir for that making that series.
Yeah, thank you for that kind words. And I think, you know what, like I ask these questions to all of the achievers, and I find very same repetitive type of answers. I think that's a key difference between the students who could not make it and between the achievers, that there is a similar mindset what I found, and I think I wanted to emphasize this. So you've also mentioned about the mock exams, that you how did you practice it? So I want to know from you is that after giving mocks, if you analyzed your mock review, what did you take note of? Was it the marks, or was it you just focus on the mistakes? How did you analyze and utilize the mocks to make better in your preparation?
Sir, the mocks, my aim in the mock was every time I attempted, I wanted to see my number of correct questions go up and the number of incorrect go down. So I was not really focusing on the rank which was there or the total scores. I was just like trying to get the number of correct questions correct higher. And then the analytical feature which is there in the app, that is
Yeah.
also it played a big part in like making me understand what's my weak zone. So all that which is weak, I would think that okay, there is something lacking, there's a lacuna in my preparation over there, and I would emphasize more on those subjects. So then eventually all those subjects came, kind of became strong at that point. So it really
Right.
helped to reassess what is going on. Instead of just attempting it and then no, not making a
Right.
strategic decision about what's going on.
Right. I think that's also a very important thing because many students they don't analyze or try to improve upon. So that's also one thing what I wanted to focus upon. So coming to the next is that Dr. Rihan, did you make notes or you marked in the book or you just focused on the bookmark questions or did you make any error book or error journal or a mistake journal? What was your strategy in that aspect?
Sir, I'm not much of a person who makes notes, and to be frank, my handwriting is illegible even to me.
Right.
So I prefer just reading from the textbooks, and I would just
Right.
underline and like first reading, it would be just conceptual reading. So I would read every line and then see what is important there, and then next in my second reading, then I would just focus on those underlined parts, and then by third reading, it's like you kind of get what's going to be the questions are going to be targeting which part of the text. Instead of reading all the things, you can just focus on those things. So that is my approach. And yeah. So what else did you ask, sir?
Did you like have a specific different error journal or a mistake
Yes, sir.
journal where you did?
Yes, sir. I actually created a separate book for like one-liners where, if it would be like certain maybe a date, like which the when the procedure was invented and those kind of. I created a separate journal for just specific one-liner things that I would, which is very volatile to remember.
Very volatile, right? I think that's a very important thing that you tend to focus on your strength about how you want to read because even if you want to do textbook reading you should be smart in as you mentioned about the marking of the thing so that as you go on to the second third reading it becomes easier. So next I want to know is about the importance of revision and how did you plan for revision from the start and how did you implement it and what was your take on that?
Sir, when I started, I wanted to at least do 2 to 3 revisions before the exam. So after my base reading, I think my base reading took around 2 months, 2 months of time, and then one I spent 1 month revision, and then the last few days again I think last 15 to 20 days I spent for my final revision. So I feel like that multiple revisions is necessary to otherwise it's impossible to remember all the details on the exam, and with the pressure over there, revision is the only thing that'll help you.
Yeah, importance of revision, I think that's a very valid point, and I think that all the students should take a note that what happens is that many times students just make a plan that okay, I'll read this from this time, but they don't try to read smartly that they can incorporate that into the revision later on. So I think that's a very important point which all of the achievers are emphasizing on a lot. So coming to the next thing, what I want to ask you is about how did our platform help you and if you can tell us about the pros and the cons both, because if it something is good, obviously it motivates us to keep doing it, and if something is not there or lacking, we can obviously improve. So just tell your honest feedback about the same.
Yes, sir. Sir, I feel like I had subscribed to Sushruta around the big, I think May of this year, and I felt like you were there every step of the way with me during this journey, sir, because you would constantly make videos and motivate us and update us on what to do and how to move ahead. So all that was, I feel like it has played a crucial role. And then, sir, you had also with the this 22nd edition of Sabiston, you had also released an update to update the the notes. So that also really helped. And the I like and decathlon, so that is awesome. So.
Yeah. Thank you for the kind words. And if anything, you have any feedback which you feel that we can improve upon, please let us know.
Yes, sir. I mean, the app is good, sir, but the like maybe some small bugs might be there here and there, which is expected from any app in the
Right.
market.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Well, obviously, we are striving every day to improve the app. So, coming to the end of the interview, Dr. Ian, I want to give the floor open to you that give your message to the students who will be listening to this about your how they can become better and they can implement things. Just an inspirational message to all the aspirants who will be listening to you and they can take a note from you.
Before that, I just wanted to give
Yeah,
thanks to
yeah,
all the people who have
yeah. Please, please, please go ahead, please.
so I want to thank all my parents, my family members for all their support and being by my side throughout this journey. And I want to thank my professors, my mentors, my seniors from Grand Medical College and from JJ. They were instrumental in shaping me as the surgeon I am today, and then they always inspired me to achieve more. And yes, sir, my message would be to the students watching this would be to just believe in yourself and then just work hard and then be consistent. It will eventually pay off, and things will happen in ways that you won't believe. So just keep going. That's all I can say. So
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point that even just simple mindset of wanting to achieve something and working hard works wonders. You don't need to do more about that. So I think that's a great thing that we have covered all the aspects, and I hope that students take a note of this and they can become better and reach the pinnacle of success. So, ending with the interview, what is your plan ahead? What field are you wanting to pursue, and what is the plan like? I think that you would not have decided for a college, but at least the field. What is your subject of love?
my subject of love has always been gastrosurgery. So
Right.
I had actually made a goal to like get a good enough rank to get into GB Panth. So
Okay.
that was been my goal when I set it out, set in this journey. So that I hope I can achieve that now.
Yeah. No, I think obviously you are going to go straight into GB Pan now. You don't have any obstacles ahead in your journey. So I want to welcome you to the field of super specialty now, and obviously welcome to the GI club. And let's catch up on any future conferences wherever you go in GI. And all the best for your future. And I hope that you achieve success in that as well.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, just keep in touch. If you visit Gujarat or Ahmedabad, feel free to reach
Yes,
out
I would.
and
It
let's
would be
meet
my
up.
pleasure to meet you, sir, in person.
Yeah, same here. It's an honor and privilege to talk to you, and talking to achievers like you makes you even motivates me to do whatever we are doing. So, congratulations again, and all the best for the future.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.